Brock Lesnar makes the tag. There's Damien, there's Payne, both down. Big right hands by Brock Lesnar. The Minnesota Stretching Crew has a new lease on life. The Southern Tag Team Championship on the line. A suplex by Lesnar. Belly to belly on Payne. Brock Lesnar, a one-man wrecking crew here. Now scoops up Damien. Suplex with a bridge. There's the referee, Robert Briscoe in position. 1, 2, Payne makes the save. The Southern Tag Team Championship on the line here at Coyotes, and it's anybody's ball game. Wait a minute. Sin coming into the ring. Sin has that spray can. No, she got Damien. She got Damien in the eyes. Brock Lesnar has Sin. Sin up and down with a slam. Brock Lesnar evaded that spray. Damien still blind. Lesnar with Damien in the air. Plants him with a backbreaker. Shelton Benjamin to the top rope. Brock Lesnar, wait a minute. Rocket launcher. Briscoe down for the count. 1, 2, 3. We've got new champions. The first professional wrestling title for these rookie sensations, the Minnesota Stretching Crew.
The Minnesota Stretching Crew, Brock Lesnar and Shelton Benjamin.
You just saw the explosive rookie superstars from Minnesota win their first professional wrestling championship. Hello, Kentuckiana. Welcome to Ohio Valley Wrestling. Jim Cornette and Dean Hill here as the Minnesota Stretching Crew, the new Southern Tag Team Champions, will defend their new titles right here on WBKI against the former champs, the Disciples of Sin. Also, the Hardcore title and OVW title on the line in this hour, and Dean Hill to kick this one off.
A combined weight of 502 pounds. They are the brand new Ohio Valley Southern Tag Team Champions, Brock Lesnar, Shelton Benjamin, the Minnesota Stretching Crew. And their opponents.
Southern Tag Team Championship on the line, the new champions, the Minnesota Stretching Crew, these rookie sensations from Minnesota, to defend against the former champions, the Disciples of Sin, Payne and Damien, on their way to the ring now. Of course, accompanied by Sin, and Sin is, oh wow, come on, wait a minute. Sin, as usual, with that crummy disposition. We've seen that poor young girl in the front row at several OVW events recently, but Sin played a big part in the Disciples losing the belts. She may play a big part tonight in the Disciples if they were to regain the championship.
Escorted to the ring by Sin. 456 combined pounds. They are Payne and Damien, the Disciples of Sin. Robert Briscoe, your referee, and man, what an exciting match to start off OVW Wrestling.
Brock Lesnar, Shelton Benjamin, the Upset Kids. Boy, I'll tell you what, nobody expected the win by the Minnesota Stretching Crew, still rookies in this industry. However, they did defeat the Disciples of Sin for the Southern Tag Team Championship. Wait a minute, the Disciples opening up strong. Have Shelton Benjamin trapped. There's Brock Lesnar, the partner. Brock with that tremendous power shot puts Damien across the ring. There's one to Payne for good measure. Brock Lesnar with the power, Shelton with the speed. Brock misses the clothesline, but Shelton did not. Drop kick, one with each foot. Brock Lesnar with the double clothesline. The Disciples definitely have to have better teamwork than that in order to regain the Southern Tag Team Championship. And Dean, we have to fill the folks in on the big news. As a result of a rampage in the locker room after the Christmas Chaos event, the Demon Leviathan has been suspended indefinitely. Leviathan was defeated. Look at the agility. Look at the agility and the movement of Shelton Benjamin with the arm drag there. Leviathan was defeated by Kane with help from Stone Cold Steve Austin. There was a rampage, a fight in the locker room. The Demon going berserk. A WWF official was injured in the fracas. And as a result of that, Leviathan is on indefinite suspension, not only from Ohio Valley Wrestling, but from competing in OVW or WWF ring until this situation is straightened out. It's a disciplinary action, and I think one that was definitely called for.
You talk about fired up. I tell you, the Minnesota Stretching Crew has been solid since they got in here. As a matter of fact, Damien had to go to the eyes of young Shelton Benjamin just to get the advantage and get himself out of there. And Payne, who is the wild man of this team.
Look at the agility. Payne doesn't even know that Shelton Benjamin landed on his feet. Wow, super kick there, right under the chin. Shelton Benjamin, lateral press. Briscoe with the count, 1, 2, and no. Payne, just by the skin of his teeth, avoided that one. And now, Shelton Benjamin and Brock Lesnar, whose experience level belies their teamwork. Their teamwork is so intricate. Count of 1, 2, and Damien there for the save. Brock and Shelton have come so far, so fast as a tag team. The power of Brock, the speed of Shelton Benjamin, and the fact that they were teammates in college on the wrestling team at Minnesota. That they have, oh, wait a minute. Referee making a judgment call there. Brock Lesnar, he says wait a minute, look at this. My God, I'll tell you what, he just threw Damien right on top of Payne. And now, look at the Minnesota Stretching Crew. They're not finished yet. These two dynamos, they are so exciting and so unpredictable.
Man, what action. This thing has just been crazy since the onslaught. The double right across the ring from Payne. Oh, he ducks under the double clothesline. The stretcher catches him and drops him, man.
Wait a minute, double rock bottom like maneuver there. But Shelton Benjamin decided not to go for the cover. Shelton, he's going to crank back up on that super kick again. Payne disoriented, doesn't know where he is. Wait a minute. He ducked under. Oh, modified sky high. Payne, the tag to Damien. And the momentum has changed. The complexion of this match has turned, and now the Disciples of Sin have taken over. And the Disciples, they are veterans. They do have the experience advantage. And in this type of situation, Shelton Benjamin could be in bad shape with Payne and Damien on the offense.
You figure into all this that Payne and Damien have absolutely no problem, ladies and gentlemen, with stretching the rules, if you will, doing whatever is necessary, evident earlier by the gouge to the eye that started this change in the momentum. Right now, Shelton desperately needs to get to Brock.
Well, speaking of stretching, the name Minnesota Stretching Crew comes from an inside wrestling term. Stretching is not what the Disciples do. The Disciples will pound and beat and punish a man. But stretching is something that, wait a minute, bulldog there, lateral press, forearm across the jawbone, Brock Lesnar makes the save. Stretching is something that Shelton Benjamin and Brock Lesnar are very well versed in. The ability to bend an arm or a leg or a knee or a shoulder the wrong way, the way other than which nature intended it. To stretch a man, to tie him into knots. Because, wait a minute, count of 2. No. Once again, Brock Lesnar with the save. Everyone knows that a joint injury to a knee or an elbow or a shoulder is the most painful type of injury that an athlete can sustain, even worse than a broken bone. And the Minnesota Stretching Crew, due to their great amateur background, so well versed in stretching their opponents, tying him into knots, causing those joint injuries, those elbow and knee injuries. They can bend a man's legs and arms to the point where he can almost be confused with a human pretzel. And that is why the Minnesota Stretching Crew was so named by the other athletes in the locker room, because of their ability to do just that. But the Disciples, look, the blind tag there. Shelton with the roll-up. Doesn't know that Payne's the legal man. Payne pulls his man across, implant DDT. That's the veteran-like maneuver. That's the experience level. That's the reason the Disciples are so dangerous, and the reason why Shelton Benjamin and Brock Lesnar have everything on their plate that they can take care of to retain these championships tonight.
And Payne and Damien are... Oh, look at this maneuver, ladies and gentlemen. Unbelievable. They have the agility like that in the middle at the top of that to flip yourself and reverse that. Unbelievable move by Shelton Benjamin, but still he's stunned. Still he has no idea which corner Brock is even in.
Shelton in no man's land. Shelton all the way across the ring from his partner. Payne very close to the tag on Damien. Damien makes the tag. Shelton is still 20 feet from his partner, Brock Lesnar. Damien swings. Shelton ducks, makes the tag. Brock Lesnar. Brock Lesnar's a house of fire. Payne nails Damien. Another one to Payne. Back to Damien with the clothesline. Brock Lesnar, the fresh man. He's had to stand by and watch Shelton Benjamin punished for 3 solid minutes. There was a T-bone suplex. Now picks his man up. Going for the power slam. Oh, my God. Count of 1, 2. No. Damien there in the nick of time. But that brings Shelton Benjamin in.
Now everything's going crazy, ladies and gentlemen. Briscoe is on the verge possibly of losing this match right now. The control of it, that is. They got Shelton working on one and Brock Lesnar working on Payne.
Look at Brock. Oh, Brock Lesnar just ran right into BJ Payne's feet. And now Payne stepping out. Payne. Oh, wait a minute. What's he doing here? He's trying to bring Brock Lesnar's legs to straddle the ring post. No, he's got his ankle set up there, and he's got the middle fight. Oh my God! Oh no! Oh my God! Ring the bell! No, this is ridiculous.
Oh man,
This is ludicrous. This is not wrestling. Sky high on Shelton Benjamin, and there's that little bitch standing in the ring. No, Brock Lesnar could have broken his ankle there. Payne hit him as hard as he could, full out with a Babe Ruth swing with that metal folding chair. Brock Lesnar, a 300-pound man, has been reduced to a quivering mass of flesh. He could have broken his ankle, and now stand with that whip, the lash of the leather on the skin. Shelton Benjamin, 2 against 1 with the disciples. Briscoe has been thrown from the ring. Somebody, do we have a damn official anywhere in this building?
Thank God, Ray.
Thank God.
Stop this. Get him out of here, Ray. Get him out of here, Nick. Oh, man.
Oh, no, wait a minute.
Jesus.
Disciples has Ramsey over the top.
Man.
Big Doomar down to the floor. Wait,
Wait,
here
security.
comes the OVW security.
Oh, geez.
She just threw powder in his eyes. Payne has the security man. Implant DDT. Damien now. The security guard's ineffectual here against the disciples.
Oh, no,
Good
Lord
have
God.
mercy.
Oh,
all the way to the floor.
Everybody laying out everybody in the house.
Brock Lesnar and Shelton Benjamin helpless. Brock Lesnar's ankle may be broken. And now Damien.
Oh, God.
The other security guard. What the hell? No! No! For God's sake, no! Just set him on fire!
Jesus Christ.
Can anybody stop these heathens?
We need help
These
out here.
satanic, sadistic individuals and that little red-headed bitch. They've gone too far this time. We've got to take a break, folks. We'll be back. Don't go away.
Since I'm in a good mood, I'm now going to knock you to the lights out like that, like I could. So, because I'm in a good mood, Stone Cold Steve Austin's going to mill to the back and let you enjoy your little bit of glory right here. Don't you turn your back on me, son.
And here he is, the role model, Rico Constantino, who had his problems with Stone Cold Steve Austin at the Gardens. And I see you're joined by the corpulent Kenny Bolin, the man whose brain is smaller than the little end of nothing sharpened. Jerome Crony, the Bolin Services accountant, who's back. And I'm not familiar with this young lady, but let me ask you a question before I talk to Rico. We haven't seen Crony in 4 months. Where the heck has he been? And what'd you do, give him a raise to come back?
Crony had to go away for a few months. There were some irregularities with the preparation of the BS tax returns, but turns out none of that was Crony's fault. And as a matter of fact, not only has he been forgiven, but all those deductions turned out to be valid.
You let somebody else take the rap for your shysterism is what you did. Is that not? Well, today was supposed to be the big contract signing of Rico Constantino joining Bolin Services if he won the OVW title, but that did not take place last Tuesday at Coyote.
Mr. Cornette, let me ask you a few questions here. Did I pin Nick Dinsmore for the 1-2-3 last Tuesday?
Yes, you did, but there was...
Yes or no? Did referee Briscoe award me the OVW title?
Yes, he did, but there were...
Yes or no? And was I announced the new OVW champion?
Yes, you were, but there were...
It's yes or no, that's it.
No, wait a minute. Here's what happened. You were awarded the title after you pinned the man when you hit Nick Dinsmore with his briefcase, and then I came down there and told Robert Briscoe what had happened. He restarted the match. You were German suplexed. He kicked the man in the gut, and that's what happened. You were disqualified, and that's why you're not the OVW champion.
Mr. Cornette, as I told that beer swiggin', potty mouth Steve Austin at Christmas Chaos, I am a role model here. I have accelerated at everything I've done and magnificently triumphed. I do not drink alcohol. I do not use profanity. I am always a gentleman, and I do not ever, and I mean ever, lie. I defeated Nick Dinsmore in the middle of that ring, and you saw fit to come out and interfere, and I don't know how you did it, but you got referee Briscoe to change his mind. Now, I should be the OVW champion tonight, and I'm wondering, how are you going to explain that to all my fans?
I did what I thought was right under the circumstances, Rico, and I'll tell you what you've done and what you've done. You got Nick Dinsmore pissed off is what you done. And this Tuesday night, it's going to be the OVW Dream Team, Nick Dinsmore, Trailer Park Trash, and the Damager against the forces of Bowling Services, Mark Henry, Mr. Black, and Rico Constantino. If you want to make that bed, you can lay in it at St. Teresa in a six-man tag.
I've beat them all before. I'll do it again.
Just reminds me something, because technically I did win you the OVW title Tuesday, and I have taken the liberty to have a contract prepared here. Now, that's awful detailed, and there's a lot of pages here, but a bunch of mumbo jumbo. Don't worry about that. The details are right here on page 27. Page 27, got the pen? If you would just sign that for me, Mr. Constantino, and I'm going to make you official member of Bowling Services. You put the name right there.
Kenny. Once again, you've got your Visa mixed up with your Versa. I said the deal was, if you got me the OVW title, I would sign. I do not have the OVW title.
Well, you had it. I got it.
I do not have the title. The deal is off.
Well, there you go. It looks like you've done one thing right.
No, the deal can't be off. I've done everything. I tell you what I'll do. I will get you another OVW title shot. That you've got my word on. I will get you on the cover of Raw magazine. You know what that would do for your career. I'm the man that can do it. But not only that, I tell you what I'll do. I'll give you the personal services of my new executive secretary. Take a good look at her. Candy Mounds. She will be there for you to dictate to and tell her your life story, your amazing life story, as an inspiration to all these retarded rednecks. How's that?
Miss Mounds, have I ever told you how I won the American Gladiator?
Oh, for heaven's sake. That would gag a maggot off a gut wagon. Folks, don't go away. Get away from me.
Got a deal to be signed.
Get away from me. We'll be right back. The hardcore title on the line. Mr. Black defends when we come back.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Ohio Valley Wrestling. But before we go to our hardcore title, we'd like to update an injury that occurred to Flash last Tuesday night at Coyotes.
Well, that's right. It was a serious injury, not as serious as we first had thought. Flash was challenging Mr. Black for the Hardcore Championship at Coyotes at OVW X-Rated last Tuesday night. Flash executed his whip flash maneuver. Unfortunately, Flash basically almost fell straight on his head. He suffered what is known as a stinger. It's a compressed nerve in the neck. It was a very scary situation. For quite a few minutes, Flash was laying in the ring, unable to move his right arm, and we were unsure as to whether the paralysis was going to be temporary or possibly permanent. However, after a period of time, Flash was taken from the ring. He has seen a doctor, and he has been advised to take a couple of weeks off to let the injury rest. It could have been worse, folks, than what it was, but as it was scary enough. This footage that we're about to show you from Coyotes was not meant for television, doesn't even have any commentary on it, but we felt that you should see the dangers that professional wrestlers undergo every time they step in the ring, even executing a routine maneuver. In this case, Flash was a very lucky young man to escape without a permanent injury.
Mark Henry shit. That's baby Krilla.
Let's give Flash a hand, you guys. Come on.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Our next event of the evening is for the hardcore title. 250 pounds out of St. Louis, Missouri, the challenger, Randy Orton. And his opponent.
Folks, you saw the footage which illustrates the danger of hardcore matches and this sport in general. Flash, thankfully, will recover, and our get well wishes go out to that courageous young man. But he will be out for a week or two at this point, possibly longer. And right now, the hardcore title on the line, the 400-pound monster against the third-generation superstar. Dean, take it away.
Escorted to the ring by Jerome Crony, 388 pounds. He is the chief of security for Bolin Services and the OVW Hardcore Champ, Mr. Black.
Well, the second of 3 title matches on the program tonight. You saw the Southern Tag Team Championship match that ended in chaos. And folks, not only Brock Lesnar, but also our security guard have been taken to the hospital. The security guard to be treated for burns, Brock Lesnar for x-rays for a possible broken ankle. This match now for the hardcore title, and later on tonight, for the OVW Championship, Mr. Wrestling Nick Dinsmore will defend against the 7-foot former NFL star Russ McCullough. But right now, Mr. Black, the security director for Bolin Services, opening up strong, but wait a minute, a miscalculation there. Randy Orton, the third-generation superstar, the son of the legendary Cowboy Bob Orton Jr., the grandson of superstar of the 50s and 60s, Bob Orton Sr., and wait a minute, Randy Orton, he's the one to bring out the toys. Mr. Black, the hardcore champion, he's used to this type of combat. But Randy Orton figures the best defense is a good offense. And there are toys in the ring right now. A metal garbage can, Black's got it, no. Orton, the quicker man, ducks out of the way. Randy, oh my God, he just laid him, he's gonna let him wide open with it. That's a bat, that's a baseball bat.
Solid aluminum right to the, oh man, the hardcore title almost changing hands. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. This is a title match. That's what all this is doing out here right now. You can use any of this stuff. Anything goes in an OVW hardcore title. And Randy Orton plants the lid right across the lid of Mr. Black.
And we saw part of the footage of Flash and Mr. Black at OVW X-Rated. Can't show you most of what happened there at Coyotes. It's not fit for television. But I'll tell you what, in my opinion, wait a minute. Randy Orton's got a bowling ball.
This could be a striking
He
situation.
has got a bowling ball. Mr. Black down in the corner. Is he going to yes? He got him a strike. I'll tell you what, you laugh at that, folks, but as the situation with Flash illustrates, these hardcore matches, in my opinion, have gone too far. The danger to the athletes and to their careers, to their bodies, is just too much. And these courageous young men trying to give it everything they've got, trying to give it all to you every Saturday night on Ohio Valley Wrestling. The injury rate is becoming more and more frequent. And I'll tell you, it's this kind of hardcore action that makes a long career a short career. Oh man, right now, Mr. Black with that leather belt right across the back. Black will be in that 6-man tag this Tuesday night at St. Therese. The forces of Bolin Services. I'm talking about Mr. Black, Mark Henry, and Rico Constantino taking on Nick Dinsmore, the Damager, and Trailer Park Crash and all. He's trying to lynch Randy Orton. Randy Orton giving up at least 150 pounds in weight here, and so much experience in this hardcore environment and these hardcore type matches. Black now coming in with a metal folding chair. Randy Orton still with the rope wrapped around his neck. Orton trying to grasp for that bowling ball, but Black has set up a chair in the corner of the ring. Black has wedged that chair in between the turnbuckles. And I tell you, I don't know what Mr. Black, oh wait a minute, he's gonna, no! Randy Orton put on the brakes, and Black went right into that chair. And you can see the red welts and the blood from the back of Randy Orton where he's been whipped with that leather belt. Crony, the BS accountant, has gone crazy at ringside. He's rattling stuff around. Oh, there's Thurston Throckmorton. He still thinks he's Macho Man Randy Savage. Wait a minute, Crony going to the top. Black is holding Randy Orton. Orton. Oh, Boland Services is going to steal it again. No! Crony missed. Crony missed.
Oh, man. Orton throws.
Look at this.
Look at this.
Bo Nelson. Big slam on a 400-pounder. Randy Orton with a cover. 1, 2.
New champ.
He got him. Orton wins. Orton wins. He has brought this place to its feet. Randy Orton has electrified the crowd at the Davis Arena. His first championship in professional wrestling. Randy Orton, this kid's going places, and right now, he's the OVW Hardcore Champion. Folks, don't go away. The world's strongest man, Mark Henry, is coming up next.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Ohio Valley Wrestling, joined here in the squared circle by the world's strongest man, Mark Henry. But last Tuesday night at Coyotes, your show of strength, I understand, was interrupted by Trailer Park Trash.
Now, I went to this redneck bar called Coyotes, and there I proved once again that I'm stronger than any 6 men in this godforsaken town. Now, not only that, but did I get the acceptance that I deserved as an Olympian? No. What I got was Trailer Park Trash, drunk ass, coming out trying to make a fool out of me. So, see, what I'm saying is he's jealous about me being what I am, who I am, and what I can do. Now, see, what they ought to call him is dirty white trash. Now, he admits that he's trash, and he's definitely white, except for that red-ass neck. But I have proof that he's dirty because his wife tells me every night when we laid up making love that in that sweet little voice, "Oh, Mark, you're so much more man than trash is, and you smell so good."
Oh, for heaven's sake. Oh, wait a minute, Dean, look out. There's Trailer Park Trash. Trash in the ring, trash all over Mark Henry. Mark Henry making those obscene and vulgar and uncalled for comments on the wife of Trailer Park Trash. And now Robert Briscoe, Nick Dumeyer, Ray Ramsey trying to stop Trailer Park Trash, he's on a mission here. He is defending his family honor. His wife was basically slandered by Mark Henry, who called Trailer Park Trash dirty white trash. No, Mark Henry just threw Briscoe right into trash. Oh my God, belly to belly with a 350-pounder. And Dean, what the hell's going wrong with these guys tonight?
What has he got in his hand?
Oh, wait a minute. He's got a can in his hand. He's got some kind of, it looks like an aerosol can. No!
He's painting his neck white.
He has painted Trailer Park Trash's neck white. He said he had a redneck. Trash works for a living. And he, just like a lot of folks around town, he likes to have a good time. And he enjoyed coming out at Coyotes and making fun out of Mark Henry's attempts to belittle people. And now Mark Henry, oh, this is ridiculous. Folks, we'll be back. We've got to get some order restored here. The OVW title match is still to come, but we'll be right back.
Still screaming.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're back on Ohio Valley Wrestling. And
If you don't mind, Mark Henry, you call me a redneck because I like to drink beer and go out and have a good time? Damn you! Let me tell you something. You better take a good look around you, boy, because I'm not the only redneck in this town. Now come next Tuesday night at St. Treese, we got you in a 6-man tag. Well, you better bet. Hey, this white paint, it'll come off with some lacquer thinner, but I'm gonna put marks on you a sandblaster won't take off.
well, there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. We've got action scheduled in the ring. Obviously, Mark Henry trying to make a fool out of Trailer Park Trash. A lot of people don't think it's a bad thing to be a redneck. It's a sign you work hard for a living. But right now, we've got action in the ring with the Suicide Blondes to take on the new upstart team of Sly Scraper and Smooth Johnny Spade. The Suicide Blondes entering, and Dean Hill with the introductions.
444 1/4 combined pounds. Derek King, Jason Lee, the Suicide Blondes. And their opponents.
Dean, what a program tonight. The Cinderella story of the rookie tag team champions, Brock Lesnar and Shelton Benjamin, spoiled by the wicked stepmother Sin. Rico, the role model, is still a free agent. The son and grandson of wrestling legends. Randy Orton has won his first pro wrestling title, and Trash has been painted white. What the hell's going to go on next?
Their opponents, 212 pounds out of Louisville, Kentucky, Smooth Johnny Spade. And his partner, 333 pounds, Sly Scraper. Mick Dumar, your referee, tag team action. The Blondes are already trying to figure out how to get away from Sly Scraper.
Well, right now, you have a finesse and speed and agility team in Jason Lee and Derek King, the Suicide Blondes, against a team that's basically full of, I don't want to borrow Boland's term, but BS in the form of Smooth Johnny Spade, but a heck of a backup man, a cleanup hitter in the form of that giant, 6'7", 330 pounds, Sly Scraper. And he is every bit as big and bad as mean as he looks. And Smooth and Sly, of course, lost a wild one to the Minnesota Stretching Crew at Christmas Chaos. But in that match at the Gardens, Sly Scraper took 16 stitches to his face, but he finished the match and didn't complain and never missed a match. Super kick, Derek King, Johnny Spade, ass over tea kettle, tag to Jason Lee. And I'll tell you what, these Blondes, they're quicker than a hiccup, and they will come at you from every direction.
There, case in point right there. We got a lateral press. 1, 2. Smooth Johnny stunned by what's going on, but at least had enough wherewithal to get out of that one. Sets him up for the right across the ring. The Irish whip as it will.
Whoa!
By elbow and nobody home. And here comes the big man.
Oh, wait a minute. The big man and Jason Lee, Derek King, both could have to take a second look at this one. And of course, the Blondes. Phil Fair at the Gardens at Christmas Chaos. Phil Fair puckered up and kissed some Suicide Blonde keister. And Phil Fair has made Sean Casey and Chris Michaels promise that he would shave the Blondes' heads to get even for him having to pucker up and basically kiss their derrieres in the middle of the ring in front of 6,000 people. Casey and Michaels have not been, oh, wait a minute, look at this. This guy's a caveman. I mean, he's just a giant. But Casey and Michaels and Fair have not been seen here tonight. So we do not know what is on their agenda, but I know that the Blondes have said anytime, any place that Casey and Michaels and Fair want to bring it, then all they got to do is sign the contract.
Man, one big maneuver after another. Sly Scraper working on the back of Jason Lee. Smooth Johnny giving him a little instruction over there and slams him. He does. Here comes Smooth Johnny in. Oh, look at this, man.
You know,
He's
Johnny
measuring
Spade
him.
is like one of these kids in the 4th grade. He will talk a great fight, but when it comes time to fighting it, he couldn't whip cream with an outboard motor. He couldn't fight his way out of a wet paper bag, and he's got that caveman in the corner to do his fighting for him. He talks a big game, but he can't deliver. But that's the problem with his Spade. He's a manipulator, and I've said that before, and we've had our problems. Spade is a manipulator. He wants to get me fired as matchmaker so that he can be in the main event. He thinks he's a future WWF champion. Johnny Spade is nothing but a backstage dressing room manipulator.
Right now, he's feeling the effects of the Suicide Blondes. Come over, plants his head into the turnbuckle. Here comes Jason Lee. He goes low once or twice and a couple of big fists to the chin. Smooth Johnny swinging in midair. Jason picks him up. Johnny over revolves and actually falls back into Sly Scraper. That's a bit of luck for Smooth Johnny.
And I'll tell you what, Jason Lee and Derek King never said they were the bravest warriors in the forest. They will take a shortcut themselves and up against this Sly Scraper and his size and power. Hey, wait a minute. Spinning Death Valley driver there. And wait a minute, Spade is screaming at Sly Scraper to tag him. Spade wants to make the pin. Spade wants to get the win. Spade wants the credit. Boy, I tell you, oh, wait a minute, look at Derek King. And Derek King is rolling Jason Lee out. Oh, he's playing possum? Do you think there's anybody that, well, yes, I just answered my question. Somebody is stupid enough. Smooth Johnny Spade's stupid enough. Look at that small package. 2, 3. He got him. He got him. The Blondes win. Spade double-crossed himself. Oh, it's Sly Scraper. Just hammered Derek King from behind. No, wait. There's Casey and Michaels and Phil Fair. Casey and Michaels and Fair picking their spots. They waited till one man was out of the ring and the other man was down. Double choke slam. Spade and Scraper have done their dirty duty. Fair, he's got hair clippers. Fair has hair clippers. He swore he'd shave their heads. Wait a minute, Jason Lee. He nails Michaels. Lee nails Casey. He's all over Casey and Michaels. Casey from the ring. Michaels goes down. They got fair. The Blondes have fair. Garrett King grabbed the Clippers. Jason Lee's got fair.
Oh, look
My
what
God.
they're doing. Oh, they're shaving his
They're
head.
cutting his hair.
Oh, my God, I
They
can't
are
wait for
cutting his
that.
hair. They are shaving Phil Fair's head. Look at that hair falling. Oh, brother, I tell you, it's been long overdue that something like this would happen. Phil Fair is getting his head shaved. How about he's going to end up looking like he's had chemotherapy or the mange, and the hair's starting to fly. That stuff looked like straw anyway.
You got to know wherever Rip Rogers is, and he's loving this.
Oh, Rip Rogers on that yak hunting exhibition in Tibet. He is loving this right now. The hair is continuing to fall. Folks, I hate to leave this scene, but we've got commercial commitments. We'll stay with this just as long as we can as more of Phil Fair's scalp becomes apparent. But as for right now, folks, we'll be right back. Don't go away. Still to come, the OVW title, Russ McCullough and Nick Dinsmore, but Phil Fair's got the mange. Welcome back, folks, to more Ohio Valley Wrestling. Tremendous ovation for the 23-year-old phenom of OVW who is set to be introduced by Dean Hill.
Ladies and gentlemen, 232 pounds, this is the Damager! And his opponent making his OVW debut, 251 pounds out of New York City, dazzling Danny DiNucci. Donna Deering, your referee.
The beautiful Donna Daring signals for the bell. Danny DiNucci set to go out one-on-one against the Damager. Damager victorious over Russ McCullough in that football helmet on a pole match last Tuesday night at Coyotes. Damage on a string here. Wait a minute, count of two. Had him stacked up with a schoolboy roll-up. DiNucci out. DiNucci, of course, the grandson of the legendary Dominic DiNucci. Oh, wait a minute. 1, 2 there. Dominic DiNucci, of course, the trainer of great wrestlers like Cactus Jack, Brian Hildebrand, and Troy Orndorff. However, right now, Danny DiNucci on his own with a side headlock on the Damager. And folks, what a program we have had. Phil Fair looks like he's had chemotherapy treatments. Looks like he had the mange. Half of his hair is out, half of it's in. After the Suicide Blondes got finished with him, there'll be another day in that altercation. Casey and Michaels dropped him like a bad habit. They left and didn't look back. Damager, crossbody there. Count of 1, 2, no. Remember, still to come. In our next segment for the OVW title, it'll be Dinsmore against McCullough one-on-one. Wait a minute. Thought he had him there, 2 7/8.
You let him down, I saw that. And that Damager hooking him up. Oh, Donna Deering keeping an eye on it, making sure everything square comes out of it. Man, these guys, I tell you, reverse after reverse after reverse. DiNucci, he may be taking the damages short right now. He better not. This young man will clean his clock. Man, what a chop from DiNucci. He's got him in the corner right now. Another chop. Donna's trying to get both these guys out. The Damager reversing it. And a chop for the young boy from New York City. Oh, a second one. DiNucci's starting to realize what he's in there against right now.
I tell you what, you heard the smack of the flesh, the high-pitched chops against the sternum of Danny DiNucci, the Damager. Moving out now. Wait a minute, Damager signaling that he's going to the top rope. Damager will take a risk. DiNucci not sure where he's at. Oh, he's staggered into the ropes. DiNucci staggered into the ropes, and Damager landed crotch first on the top rope. And DiNucci now. DiNucci has an opening. And we've got to be honest, a win by Danny DiNucci here would be a tremendous upset. Would be against all the odds, but would certainly propel DiNucci to the top of OVW 1, 2. Danny DiNucci putting on the pressure, the Damager, a former OVW champion. I'll tell you what, you can't get away from this kid for long. Brain damage. That's his move. 1, 2, 3. He got him. For another victory for the Damager against Danny DiNucci. A good-looking young kid, but he's going to need some more time in the ring. Folks, I'll tell you what, we have an opportunity. We'd like to remind you for a very good cause. Christmas Chaos t-shirts are available right now on eBay for auction. You can check out our website, ovwrestling.com, for more information on these Christmas Chaos t-shirts that were signed by WWF superstars like Kane, Lita, the Hardys, Chris Benoit, and more. The proceeds, 100% of the proceeds, will go to benefit the WHAS Crusade for Children. So folks, check out obwrestling.com for more information. And right now, we'd like to take you this special word from Iron Man Rob Conway on his confrontation this Tuesday night at St. Therese with H2O.
Once again at Christmas Chaos, I embarrassed you, Ron Waterman. You think you're some tough guy from the Ultimate Fighting World, no holds bars? Well, I beat you at your own game. And at Coyotes, I was telling all those rednecks why you're not a water man, you're the water boy, and you had to come in and put your 2 cents worth in. Well, let me tell you, you say I can't stick to the rules. Well, I've already beat you at Ultimate Fighting Rules. Now I say, if you want me again, you do things my way. Professional wrestling rules, a scientific match, Tuesday night at St. Therese. The only way to lose is to break the rules. The Iron Man can stick to the rules, and I'll prove it.
This is your Ohio Valley main event. It is for the Ohio Valley heavyweight title. Introducing first the challenger to the belt, 342 pounds out of Dallas, Texas, Big Russ McCullough. And his opponent.
Where Russ McCullough sporting a new hairstyle and a new look with the same outlook he always has. It's bad. But right now we are waiting the arrival, and there he is, the tremendous ovation for the franchise player of Ohio Valley Wrestling. He took Chris Benoit to the limit at Christmas Chaos, but he had his victory stolen away by the treachery of the role model, Rico Constantino. But there's no rest for the weary, as now he will defend his OVW title against the 7-foot giant. Here he is, Mr. Wrestling Nick Dinsmore, and the official introduction.
241 pounds out of Jeffersonville, Indiana. He is the Ohio Valley heavyweight champion, Mr. Wrestling Nick Dinsmore.
Well, they brought the crowd and the gardens to their feet at Christmas Chaos when he took Chris Benoit to the limit. He gave one of the top 5 players in the game all that he could handle. He had the German suplex applied, and Rico Constantino pulled the rug out from under everybody's hopes and dreams and stole Nick Dinsmore's opportunity for a full-time slot on Monday Night Raw.
Right now, both of them measuring each other, hook up, collar, and elbow, and the Russ McCullough with a lot less hair than the last time I saw him. One big knee lift and a couple of quick fists, and Nick Dinsmore reverses that, runs him into the rope, and he uses that rope to keep him going back with him, ducks under the clothesline. Oh man, he scooped him, didn't even grab him right, and still had the physical ability to jerk him up in the air like that.
I tell you what, we're going to see the classic David and Goliath battle here, but remember, David was a hell of a shot with that slingshot, and that told the tale. And Nick Dinsmore, he's got fight in him that he will not quit. He's got a heart as big as All Outdoors, but he's smart, and he's got the experience advantage on McCullough. McCullough with more size and power. But, springboard moonsault there, but nobody home. McCullough, a veteran-like maneuver there. I tell you, as I said, McCullough has the size and power advantage. But Dinsmore, oh, wait a minute, so resourceful. Dinsmore switching direction in midair. Dinsmore almost had his man, but McCullough, the choke slam, and he planted him right on the back of his head. And Nick Dinsmore, a 6'1", 230-pounder, handled like a small child. 1, 2, no. Dinsmore, in the nick of time, he got his foot on that bottom rope, and that broke the count.
You know that Nick's got to be stunned to have the wherewithal to be able to put that foot on the rope at that exact second, ladies and gentlemen. I tell you, it shows the dedication this man has, even when he's running injured right. Like, oh, look at this, rolls under that big foot, comes up. Nick Dinsmore's fired up.
Well, I tell you, Russ McCullough's been making noises for months now. He wants his opportunity. He wants his title shot. He wanted to be the man to beat Nick Dinsmore before anybody else did for the OVW title. Well, McCullough's got his shot. Dinsmore going to the top. Good God, this could be a career ender. Dinsmore down. He took the big man with him all the way across the ring. That's a 20-foot ring, folks. And Dinsmore went from one corner to the other.
You're willing to put his body on the line to keep this heavyweight title. You're going to have to do something like this against a man that's almost 100 pounds more than you and a good 7-8 inches taller. Right now, he's throwing Russ McCullough back in.
And you know what? That's what the people recognize about Mr. Wrestling, Nick Dinsmore. He will give it all to you. He'll pour his heart out in every match. He will fight to the limit. He will fight to the last ounce of breath and the last drop of blood in his body, because that's the kind of kid that this young man is. The Providence High School graduate. He's a homegrown talent. And that's the kind of commitment that he has made to every match he's wrestled in OVW. And that's why Nick Dinsmore has the following. That's why Nick Dinsmore has the fan base. They know that he'll pour it out for you every time he gets in the ring. Dinsmore to the top. Oh my God! Oh my God! He went for the missile drop kick, but McCullough pulled Robert Briscoe in the way. German suplex.
One,
A 7-foot,
two,
340-pounder. There's Rico.
Gee.
Oh, come on, no. Oh, come on. For God's sake, Rico's done it again. Rico Constantino, the referee is still down, but Dinsmore had Russ McCullough pinned, and Rico broke it up. Wait a minute. Oh, backdrop here. Nick Dinsmore, he's teeing off on Rico. German suplex there on a release. Dinsmore up. Oh, McCullough, now, come on.
Briscoe finally sees what's going on, calling for the bell. Heavyweight title will stay with Dinsmore.
Wait a minute, look at this. Is that fall-away powerbomb? My God, what a devastating maneuver. And now look at Russ McCullough. He's just offering Dinsmore up to Rico on a silver platter. And look at Rico. Look at the role model. Look at the guy that we're supposed to look up to.
Oh,
Sudden impact. Oh, come on. This is ridiculous. He made his own 3 count. He counted to 3.
What's
Rico
DiNucci doing out
Constantino.
here?
And DiNucci trying to corral Rico Constantino. Rico, the martial arts background. He was a personal bodyguard. He has got a martial arts background as well as a professional wrestling background. There goes Briscoe over the top. Rico, a duck on Brian Keck. Keck in the ring. The axe kick there. Rico, supposed to be a role model, but all he's doing is proving himself to be the biggest jerk, the biggest bastard in OVW. He has cheated Nick Dinsmore. He's ruined Nick Dinsmore's career in the match with Benoit. And now he's trying to make buffoons and fools out of everybody. The security guards powerless to stop Rico Constantino.
More security, thank goodness. Come on, guys.
This ex-policeman, ex-American Gladiators champion, ex-OVW champion is unstoppable. Rico Constantino owns the ring. He is completely snapped. How will this affect this Tuesday night? The 6-man tag, the Dream Team versus BS at St. Therese.